how about now? Is that working now? Hi Mum. Thank you for joining. Right, okay, thank you. Thanks Raven, sorry about that. I don't know why the sound wasn't working initially, but we are back on. So, how's everybody doing? Like I say, it feels like quite a while since I live streamed. Obviously we had the two little interim streams, which I'm going to talk about in a little while, the Right Ambience channel. But just to say, I am so happy to be back live streaming. I really missed it. Hi Diana. Oh, glad you can all hear me now. Okay, that's fabulous. I will have to just double check that when we get into the writing session one, the kind of 20-minute session. So I don't know if the mic might still be on automatically. Don't know what that thing is there. I'm just going to turn that one off because I don't know where that mic is. Oh, all the fun of OBS software. So what's everybody been up to? How have your last 3 weeks been? I was very coy about it before the break, but I did go away. I went on holiday for 3 weeks. I went to Italy for a week first. We flew into Genoa in Italy and spent a week in a place called Fremura on the Italian coast. It's kind of between Portofino and the Sancter, which are like the 5 famous villages on the coast. It was like a beautiful, beautiful house that we stayed out on the coast. It was just the most amazing place. We stayed there with Tom's mum and dad and some friends. And then after we'd been a week there, we then spent 5 days travelling back from Italy down to Portugal, so did like a bit of a road trip. We went to Carcassonne. I can't wait to talk to you about Carcassonne. I've been wanting to go there since I was 16. Ever since I read Labyrinth by Kate Moss for the first time, I've been wanting to go to Carcassonne. And then we went to Andorra. We spent 2 nights in Andorra. That was interesting. We went to near Alicante. It was a place called Buso or Busot. I don't quite know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Really, really tiny little village up in the mountains above Alicante for a night. And then we went to Cordoba for a night as well. So really, really intense road trip. We'd got 1 bag of clothes, and so while we were at the house in Italy we were able to wash clothes and stuff, but then on the road trip, by the time we got to the end of the road trip, we've got like basically no clothes left. So that was interesting. And then we spent a week in Portugal then. So yeah, it's been a beautiful trip. Obviously I'm always a little bit careful about telling people when I go away from my house, just for security reasons. Don't always want people knowing that the house is like completely empty for 3 weeks. But yeah, that's what I did. In terms of working and things, I was doing reduced freelance hours. So I was still working the week we were in Italy on reduced hours, and then I had a week off when we travelled back, and then I worked the 3rd week from Portugal as well. So yeah, and so I'm sure you can understand why, amidst all of that going on, the travelling and the holiday and trying to do freelance work, I just thought that the best thing would be to have a complete break from live streaming, because what with internet being different, OBS software being everything that it is, oh gosh, sorry, my phone's going off, it just felt too complicated to try and live stream while I was away as well. So thank you very much for being so lovely and understanding whilst I had that little break. Lene, welcome into the live stream. How are you doing? So yeah, that's a little bit of a whistle-stop tour of where I've been over the last 3 weeks. If anyone is watching this video, if they're maybe joining the live stream for the first time, or you're watching this video on demand, because my live streams do become videos on demand after the live stream is finished, then welcome into the live stream series. I do these every Tuesday evening, 7 till 9 PM UK time, and the format is that we have several sessions where we're just having a chat, talking about different things, catching up. It's a lovely way for me to be able to get to know my subscribers and people who watch my content a little bit more. And over the last, gosh, I don't know how many weeks we've been live streaming now, it's been quite a few weeks, a few months, we've created this really lovely little community of people, and I genuinely love coming to the live streams every week and chatting to you about all sorts of different things. So welcome if this is the first one you're seeing, and I hope that you continue to watch some more. In and amongst the chatting sessions. We do also have focused writing sessions. Well, I say writing, I write or I do some kind of task, creative task. Other people read books, they do their own writing. We have a few people studying at the moment, so they do university assignments. My mum, who joins the live streams very often, has been knitting a cardigan, so she might be doing a little bit of knitting. We sometimes have people who are making their dinner, and so they come and tell us what they're having for tea. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we do during those focused 20-minute sessions. They have a little bit of music in the background, and I am silent. I don't talk during those sessions so that you can focus. So that's that. That's the housekeeping out of the way for anybody new or anyone who's watching later. So how is everybody doing? I know there's usually a little bit of latency in the chat. So yeah, everybody tell me what you've been up to. How is everything going with writing, studying, life? Raven, have you put Raven, you were moving, weren't you? Or was it Nikki that was moving? Oh my gosh, now I have to remember everything. How is, I think it was Nikki that was moving, wasn't it? Your anthology piece is in edit, got your beta feedback in and applied. Amazing. Yeah, the last time we chatted, you just finished, I think, was it the draft, or you kind of got it to the stage that you were going to get some feedback on it, so that's really cool. What's the deadline? When does it have to properly be in? When does it have to be submitted? But yeah, really great. For something like that, an anthology piece or non-fiction, I much prefer editing to writing. It's funny, when I'm doing fiction, I much prefer writing to editing, but I quite like having something that you can work from, something that you already have, and then you can edit. August 1st for the final draft. Oh, so you've got a bit of time then. You're doing a really good job of like making sure you spread it out and don't leave it to the last minute, which is 100% what I would do. I think for me personally, I do seem to work well with a little bit of a deadline, a little bit of urgency behind me. Yeah, it's just how I tend to work best. But yeah, how's everybody else doing? I've been making a point of building in breathing room. Just started a literature class this term too. Ooh, cool. What kind of literature? Is it just general stuff? Is it classics? Is it modern literature? Is this... What kind of class is it? Is it... Because I feel like... Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I feel like... Do American people who are interested in kind of learning and stuff, do they do like adult education classes like this quite regularly? The reason I ask is that we don't really tend to do that a lot here in the UK. I think you can do like a course, you can do like a degree or something like that, like through the Open University or something like that, but I don't feel like for example, I wouldn't go to Huddersfield University and see that they're doing a fun module on Russian literature and say, oh, I'd quite like to take that Russian literature class. But I feel like, is that something that you can do more in America if you're interested? The reason I say that as well is that I read The Correspondent, which won the Women's Prize for Fiction. I don't know if anybody twigged that as well, watched the video of me trying to guess who the winner would be. I didn't guess correctly. But in The Correspondent, the main character sits in on some classes, or wants to sit on some classes, and has a little bit of a tussle with the person who is running the classes at a university. And it made me think again about whether, yeah, you can just randomly take a class at an American university if that's something that you're interested in. Lainey, I'm waiting for my module mark to come in. Should be July 21st. Then I'm starting Welsh history in October. Ooh, you'd love to talk to Kayla. Kayla has a PhD in Welsh history. Kayla is Regency Rumours, if you don't know. She is one of my very good friends. We met at a conference many years ago, and we've been chatting ever since. We've become really good friends, and she, like I say, has a PhD in Welsh history and has a YouTube channel called Regency Rumours. A really, really excellent YouTube channel, but she knows a lot about Welsh history, so that's very interesting. July 21st, that's, yeah, not too far away either. That's exciting. I remember waiting for my final marks with my degree. I was just like, I don't know why, but I'd got it in my head that this is going to be really random, but that I wasn't going to make it, if you know what I mean, to graduation. And I don't know why, but I was like so paranoid that something was going to happen to me between finishing my final exams and handing in my dissertation and everything and getting to graduation, and then all that hard work for the 3 years of my degree would just have been a complete waste because I wouldn't have made it. How strange, the kind of fears and anxieties that you get at that time in your life. So, yeah, it's a popular and contemporary literature class, and it's one of the requirements for my degree. I take online classes, so my experience might be different than on campus, but I imagine it could be taken as an elective. Is that what it is then? People, so as part of your degree, obviously there will be certain modules and classes that you have to take, like you say, it's one of the requirements, but then can you take like additional things, like you say, as an elective? And then could a random member of the public just choose to take that class, and what kind of qualification do they get? I don't know. I feel like my understanding of this is very much through the lens of literature and films, which obviously are not always true to life. So, but it's very interesting. I love the idea of just being able to take a random class at a university just to learn more. Not even with the goal of like having a qualification at the end of it, but just being like, I'm really interested in popular and contemporary literature. I'm going to go and listen to someone who's a huge expert at a university, listen and have some critical thinking and learn more about books and literature and how to read. Like, that's such a cool thing to be able to do. Maybe you can do it in English universities, and I've just never known that was a thing before. Feel free to correct me if anybody knows. I've been having a bit of a break and mainly just reading currently. I start back studying in September. What are you reading at the moment, Kelly? What have you been reading? I am just about to start, oh God, what's it called? I've literally got it in front of me. The Carol Claire Burke book, Yesteryear, the book about trad wives. I picked it up because it's obviously doing the rounds on Book Talk at the moment. A lot of people are talking about it, and I wanted to see what the hype was all about. So I'm going to start that soon. I don't think I'll start it tonight. I might start it tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, I'm really excited to read that. And don't think Jill's here, is she? Yet. Haven't seen her name pop up yet. But Jill was telling us about The Names. If anybody remembers Jill talking about that. It was a book where a lady the main character had a child, and she wanted to name it something, the husband wanted to name it something, and the child wanted to name it something. And so the book follows this child as they grow up, if they'd have had the 3 different names. And I loved the concept of it when Jill told me about it, and then I saw it in the airport, so I bought it. Sorry. So yeah, I bought it, so I want to read that as well soon. Yeah, Lainey, look up Regency Rumours, Kayla, Dr. Kayla Jones. Yeah, because Charlotte, you love learning, don't you? Always have. I've said this many, many times. If I could have afforded to, I probably would have stayed in education. Like, not forever, because I still think that my interests and my career might have moved out of academia eventually, but I definitely think that if money had been no option, I would have probably stayed on and done a PhD and then gone from there, really. But I also really kind of love the fact that because I went down the route of doing my books instead of a PhD, that I'm kind of learning and expanding my knowledge and my research and stuff on kind of like my own terms as well. But I do love the idea of being able to just randomly do a literature class here and there. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. It sounds like what you're talking about, sitting in without wanting a grade, is what I've heard called auditing a class. Okay, no idea if that's still a thing. Yeah, it's not something I've ever heard of in the UK, but it's a cool idea. I'd love to read that. I've just read The Repentance by Kate Foster. It was great. Set between Scotland and Iceland. Historical fiction. Ooh, that sounds good. What period is it in? Which historical period? Scotland and Iceland. Oh, I bet that was so atmospheric. That does sound really, really good. Let me know a little bit more of what it's about, and then I can maybe put it on my to-be-read pile. Speaking of which, I wanted to let you all know that I have, because I've not got enough on my plate, I have started a Substack, which, don't roll your eyes too heavily. I know everybody's got a Substack at the moment, but I wanted somewhere where I could do kind of slightly more book recommendation book review content. I didn't particularly want to do anything on Goodreads or anything like that, but for example, like the books that I've read for the Women's Prize for Fiction, I did that video's up on my YouTube channel, but I just thought it might be nice to have like an article version of that, where I talk about the fact that I've read the books for the shortlist and then kind of give a little review of each of the 5 books, and then I'll obviously talk at the bottom about who did end up winning the Women's Prize for Fiction. So yeah, I started it, it's literally only been like a little welcome post of what people can expect from the Substack at the moment, and I'm not putting any kind of pressure on myself about how often I will post on there. It will be as and when I can get to it. So if you fancy following along, you can do. I don't know, maybe I can pop a link actually into the chat. Let me go, so Substack. I'll get the link for you. Don't really know 100% of how it works. I know that a lot of people are on it, so I'm going to kind of learn as I go, which I kind of like to do. Oh gosh, it's asking me to sign in. I might have to do this in the first writing session, and then yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it in the first writing session. I'll pop the link into the chat. So yeah, I'll be putting, it's mostly going to be written content. I know some people are putting videos and stuff onto Substack now. That's not what I want to do. I want to kind of do written stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do on there as and when I can. And the right ambience. So anybody who didn't know, you know, maybe is watching like this, like I say, for the first time, in the break that I had, the 3-week break, I did some kind of pre-recorded as live type videos where we had 20-minute writing sessions and then kind of, you know, chill break type, a bit like a Pomodoro style video, and I published those on a new channel called The Right Ambience, Write W-R-I-T-E, like writing a book, and my intention is to keep that channel going. Again, probably can't commit to every week, but I would like to keep putting bits of content on there because unfortunately we have to play a little bit of a game with the YouTube algorithm, and if I put up a 2-hour Pomodoro video in and amongst kind of my more chatty, day in the life, bookish videos, the algorithm doesn't like that. So I love making Pomodoro videos. I really like taking beautiful shots of different places and finding interesting places to write and to work and filming myself in those interesting places. So I'm going to continue to make videos on that channel as well. I'm just going to keep loading my plate up with lots of different things I need to do. So yeah, right, I have waffled. I feel like I've talked an awful lot already, but I suppose that is to be expected when I've just had a 3-week break. So if, shall we go into the first session? We'll have 20 minutes and yeah, feel free to kind of chat away in the chat and we'll come back in 20 minutes and see how we get on. Alright, I'm going to put my headphones in so I can listen to the music at the same time. Oh, how did we all get on? What did we all get up to? Hiya Jill, I was talking about you earlier. I was saying that I had a lovely break, by the way. I had a really, really nice break. I was saying that I snuck off on holiday for 3 weeks, went to Italy, travelled from Italy to Portugal on a road trip, and then spent a week in Portugal. It was absolutely fantastic. But the reason I was mentioning your name was because I picked up the names in the airport. I always buy probably 2 books at the airport every time I go because Waterstones, WH Smith's always have that buy one get one half price deal on, don't they, at the airport. So I always get suckered into buying 2, and I picked up Lessons in Chemistry, which actually I accidentally left in Portugal. Haven't read it, but I gave it to my mother-in-law because I thought she might be interested in reading it, and so I left it there by accident. So I picked up Lessons in Chemistry, and then I saw the names was on the shelf, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to get that now because Jill recommended it. So I haven't started it yet. It's on the pile to be read, but I've got a few things to read this month, so don't actually know when I'm going to get to it. It might be August before I can get to it. But yeah, thought of you when I picked that up. And I was saying as well that I have started a Substack, which is going to be kind of like written versions of some of my videos. So things like little book recommendations. So for example, when I've read the names, I want to do like a little book recommendation, but might not be appropriate for like my main channel. And when I do like single book reviews, they don't generally tend to do that well on my channel. I don't know if people are particularly interested in watching a video book review. So I'm going to do little things like that. So the names, if it's not part of like a bigger video for my YouTube channel, then I'm going to do them as member only videos on my members section of my channel, because that's less kind of a algorithm type thing for the main channel. And then I'm also going to do like a written article version for my Substack. So if you want to join the Substack, or if you want to follow along there, then you can see that kind of thing. The fact that you thought of me made my day. Oh, I'm glad that's made your day, Jill. I hope it wasn't creepy, is what I was thinking. But no, literally saw it in the airport and I was like, well, I have to get it now. This is fate. I have to pick up this book. And so, yeah, a review of the names when I do read it will most likely be on my YouTube members and then on my Substack together. And I'm hoping that, you know, I usually have to write a bit of a script anyway when I'm making the videos, but I can run the videos through a transcription tool that I have after I've done the little review video, and it'll write up like a version, and then I'll go on and edit it, I'll play around with it, I'll make sure it's a nice written article, and then I can publish it on my Substack as well. So yeah, that's kind of my plan with the books, because the thing is I read so many books, but I don't have the time or the channel style to just do loads and loads of book reviews. So I wanted to find a way of being able to share just short reviews. I mean, they're not going to be thousands and thousands of words long, but just share a little review of kind of what I think, and I can get recommendations from you guys, and then I can let you know what I thought of those books and that kind of thing. So yes, in terms of how my book's coming along, I had every intention of doing quite a lot of writing while I was away, and I didn't do a single bit. And part of me feels a little bit guilty at the fact that I didn't do any writing while I was away. And the other part of me is just like, do you know what, Charlotte? You need a break. And I really did need a break. I was saying earlier that I was still doing some freelance work, because being a freelancer, I couldn't afford to take 3 weeks off work entirely. So the first week when we were in Italy, we were in a house, we'd rented a house, beautiful house, and it had really good internet connection. So I worked kind of part-time hours throughout that week, just reduced my hours with my clients and continued to work from there. And then the second week, when we were travelling back from Italy to Portugal, I took a complete week off work. And then the third week, I went back to doing kind of part-time hours. So it wasn't really a lot of free time to sit around and do writing. I only read one book for the whole 3 weeks, which again shows you how much kind of spare time I didn't really have. And the book that I read was Labyrinth by Kate Moss. I've read that book so many times, but we visited Carcassonne. And so I needed to read it. I was like, I need to read this on the journey before we get to Carcassonne, so that I can kind of like imagine myself in the place of all the characters and etc. So yeah, it was a beautiful trip, but it, you know, I didn't have as much downtime, didn't have as much writing time as I thought I would. And actually, when we were driving back, I mean, we drove, like I say, literally from northern Italy to Portugal. I mean, that's hours and hours and hours spent on the road. I think our longest driving day was something like 9 hours long. I could have written in the car, I could have written on my phone. I was just enjoying having a little bit of a break and reading and just completely relaxing. And so I think that's really important sometimes for us all to be able to just have a little bit of that mental downtime and a mental break, because I was getting very, very stressed before I went away, with all of the pressures of everything and all of the to-do lists and this, that and the other. And so I'm not going to feel guilty for it. I'm still hugely inspired by my book, and I'm going to do some work on it this evening. I've just been doing a little bit of planning in terms of my videos and my content and stuff on my kind of content planning spreadsheet that I've got. That's what I did in the first 20-minute session. And in the next one, I will do some writing. I'll get back into it because, yeah, I found myself feeling inspired to write, but actually finding the time to sit down and write didn't really happen. So, but it's still going to come along, because I am determined. I am determined to do it and to finish it. calming music. There's something of Downton Abbey about it. The last piece before this. Okay, so the penultimate song in the playlist is a bit like Downton Abbey. I'll try and think about that when we go, because obviously it's the same playlist again for the next writing session. I do like the classical piano playlist, I have to say, between that one and the kind of fantasy inspired one. I think those two are my favourites. I probably need to create a new playlist at some point in the next few weeks so that we have got a few more to swap out. I did make one that was a little bit kind of Italy inspired, because I did some recording in Italy, and I have created another Pomodoro style video for the Right Ambience channel, and that's got like a Italian inspired playlist underneath it, but I'm not entirely sure about it, so I don't think I'll use it on a live stream unless people really want me to. But I like something that's calming and quite relaxing for these evening live streams. So what did we did 20 past until 22, was that right? So we've had like 10 minutes. So I might give it another minute, and when it gets to 10 to 8, I might do let's do another 20-minute session, because we might as well just get straight into it. Just to say as well that if you are watching the live stream on your mobile, either live or on demand later, you can hype the live stream. I believe it's a button that comes up somewhere near the chat or the comment section on your phone. Not entirely sure because I don't see it on the desktop version which I'm looking at, but you can hype the video, you can like it, you can hit the little heart button and like the stream. That's always really good. It helps YouTube know that people are enjoying the content that I'm creating. Right, it is 10 to. Shall we do another session, and then let's talk about Sense and Sensibility in the next chat, because my video reviewing the Sense and Sensibility trailer has gone mad. It's gone wild. I think it's my second most popular video that I've done on my channel, so I've got a lot of thoughts and I'd love to know what all of your thoughts are. So let's do another 20-minute session and then we'll talk about it. Okie dokie. I've got a Stanley puss. Let me just move that about. Come on then. Come and get snuggled. Oh, I'll turn the camera around in a minute. Let me just get him in. There you go. You can see him on camera. See a little puss puss. I don't know why he does this. He always wants to come and sleep or sit on the desk, don't you? It's not really very helpful. Oh dear. Right, let me pop my thing there. How are we going to do this? Hey? How are we going to show everybody your lovely face without showing all of the mess? It's not mess, it's just like tech. You know, I've got stuff on my desk. Let me see if I can move my screen. Let's turn it round a bit. In fact, I'm just going to turn it off a second. Just turn the lid round until I've got it. There we go. Dropped it. This is not very ladylike. This is all because of you, Puss. I hope you appreciate the hard work that we're going to, just so that we can all see your lovely face. He's probably going to get up and run away as soon as I've done this as well. Is that going to be, that's going to be obscured by my screen. This is not really very helpful. Move my capybara light. And here we go, right. This is going to be a very, very unflattering, oh gosh, unflattering shot of me. There we go, oh gosh, it's going to fall. There we go, there's the cat cam. Please excuse all of this. This is all of like my leads and everything for the live stream. But normally, Stanley, this is Stanley, my cat Stanley, would be sat on his little blanket or in his bed. He did have a grey bed, which everybody used to really love watching him sleep in. And he used to hang off the edge of the bed. Unfortunately, Stanley ruined that bed when he went to the cattery recently. He had a number of accidents in it. We think they were protests, and so it had to go in the bin. So he's got a blanket at the moment, which is fine on my desk because it's very warm at the moment in the summer anyway. So he can sleep on the blanket, and then we're going to get him a new bed in the next couple of weeks. So there you go. We've finally got a cat on the cat cam. Rachel, hi, welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for joining. The first time you've joined a live stream, thank you very much. Currently reading Mansfield Park, excellent choice. I love Mansfield Park. I think it's one of the most underrated of Jane Austen's novels. Puddle of Floof. He's a puddle of floof. He really is, bless him. Yes, we're talking about you. We're talking about you and your floofy little face. Yeah. So yeah, this is Stanley. Stanley features heavily in a lot of my videos, and he is also in the live stream when we can persuade him to come and be on camera. He doesn't always come on camera. It's been a bit of a running joke now that most of the time the cat cam is just empty and there's no cat on the cat cam, isn't it? It's a bit of a running joke. I best put my hand back down, otherwise he's going to be upset. How did everybody get on in that session? I was just reviewing a bit of the book. Rachel, if you are unfamiliar with the format, basically throughout a 2-hour live I will do 20-minute kind of focus or writing sessions. Basically what we do is we will put some music on in the background, I mute myself, and then we do some writing or some reading or some crafting. My mum joins the live stream. She's been making a cardigan. She's been knitting a cardigan recently, so she's been doing a little bit of that. And for anybody else who's watching it, either lurking in the background of the live stream or is going to watch this on demand, again, just a reminder, that's the format. We do these 20-minute sessions, and then we just chat in the meantime. It's just time to get to know each other, and for you to get to know Stanley a little bit more. So if you've got any questions for Stanley, he can't answer, but I can answer on his behalf. Stanley's 12, by the way, if anybody's wondering. You are, aren't you? You're 12, middle-aged man. Yeah. And we think that he was born, we don't know his exact birth date, but we think that he might have been born on our wedding day, which is just too cute. So we got married on the 7th of June 2014, and we picked him up 12 weeks later, and he was 12 weeks old. So we think that he was born on or around our wedding day, which is super cute. So I always kind of remember how old he is based on that. So yeah, he's a little darling. Love him so much. Hope you didn't want to use your hand. Yeah. I have to get used to writing quite a lot of the time, or typing with one hand, Lainey, a lot of the time when I'm working. I have tried popping my keyboard on top of him and hoping that he wouldn't mind if I put the keyboard on top of him. He does mind. He doesn't like that. Obviously I don't hurt him. It's just there's a lot of floof here. He's got a lot of padding. But you don't like that too much, do you? No, I know you don't. No, you don't like it when the laptop's on top of you, do you? Alright, do you want me to be quiet? I mean, I'm on a live stream. I can't be entirely silent, my love. Yeah, he is so cute. He is very cute. There's a YouTube channel I watch the presenter of, which is currently analysing the Mansfield Park characters. It's a while since I've read Mansfield Park or seen any adaptations. Yeah, to be honest, it's a long time since I've read it. The last adaptation I watched was the one that had Billy Piper in it. But I watched that in like 2006 or whenever it came out. So, yeah, I would have actually preferred a Mansfield Park adaptation rather than another Sense and Sensibility, to be honest. So yeah, has everybody seen the trailer and what did you think about it? So the trailer came, I knew the trailer was coming mainly because my sister Melissa had been to the cinema to watch something, and the trailer was played at the cinema, so she'd seen it and she said it's going to be coming out to the public very shortly. And so I was just really waiting for it to come out, and then I was going to do a review. And then I was in Portugal, and I think it was Kayla, actually, friend Kayla, Regency Rumours, said, it's dropped. And so within 30 minutes of the trailer dropping, I'd recorded my reaction, and then I ended up editing it super quickly, and I think I got it live. I think the trailer dropped about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I think I got it live by, or maybe it dropped about 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and then I got the video live by 7 o'clock. So it's very, very raw, very kind of initial reaction was the trailer, but I think it's done really well on my channel as that video. I think it's got, I think, as I'm talking about, 16,000 views, which is incredible for me and for my channel. And I think a lot of people have been sharing the same kind of views about just how, like, scruffy they look. I think that's the title of the video, really. I was really shocked by that, by just how, like, how drab and dark it is. And again, I think there was something going on a bit with my screen that was making it look even darker, but generally it's got that kind of grey Netflix washout style to it, which I really don't like. And then, yeah, they just all looked a bit scruffy and almost a bit dirty at times. And I did see somebody commented on, I can't even remember who it was, sorry if it was one of you guys, commented on the video basically saying that it might have been, that they might be showing that for, like, when their circumstances are reduced and they're in the cottage, and so beforehand they're looking all kind of ladylike and very well put together, and then when they end up in the cottage, that's when they kind of look a bit scruffier because obviously their circumstances have been reduced. And I would get that, but from what I was seeing on the trailer, quite a lot of the footage that was in the house before, in the big house before they had to move, they still looked a bit dishevelled and a bit scruffy. And what's her name, Daisy Edgar Jones, Eleanor's character, was wearing a cardigan that looked like she picked it up from H&M. So I don't know, I try to be balanced in trailer reactions, and I am excited to see. I think Daisy Edgar Jones is going to bring a lot to the role of Eleanor. I am really intrigued to see what Katrina Balfe does with the role of Mrs. Dashwood. I have been corrected a number of times because I pronounced it Catriona Balfe. I've been corrected. Her name is Katrina Balfe is how you pronounce it. So thank you if anybody is watching this either live or watching it on demand later who corrected me. Thank you very much. I am going to do a Outlander review series at some point in the future once I've read the books, because I'm doing a new series on my YouTube. I've only done one episode of it so far, the Other Bennett Sister book versus show, and then I'm going to review the show, review the book, and talk about which is better, etc, etc. So at the end of this month, no, at the end of July, I think, yes. So at the moment I'm planning for this video to go out on the 30th of July. I'm going to review Normal People, the book, and versus the show, because I watched the show recently and had a lot of thoughts. So I would like to read the book and then I'll compare the two. But I'd like to do that for Outlander as well, is read the books and then compare it to the show. And I think that would be a really good series to do, because trailer reactions and things like that are all well and good, but they're kind of not on my time scale. So it'd be good to do some adaptations where I can do them on my time frame and stuff. So I need to know that I've got Katrina Balfe's name correct for when I do an Outlander video. But yeah, I think she'll be a really interesting Mrs. Dashwood. I'm really excited by, I can't remember the guy's name now who plays Edward Ferrars. I think he's going to be really cool. And like I say, I think, was it Lainey, was it you and I that were saying that we were really intrigued by the kind of the flirtatiousness of him, which is a completely new thing. I'm very intrigued by that wink as well. So we will see. Oh, you saw the trailer at the cinema as well after seeing it online. It does look dark. Yeah, Yeah, I think it's gonna be that kind of dark grey blue wash, which is such a disappointment. Billy Piper, I haven't seen any adaptations. You don't see any adaptations of Mansfield Park. I mean, there will be another one, probably an earlier one other than the Billy Piper one, but that's the only adaptation I've ever seen. Fun fact, that adaptation with Billy Piper, part of it was filmed at Kirby Hall in Northamptonshire, which is an English heritage property, and I used to work at Kirby Hall. I wasn't there when they filmed the show, it was filmed before I started working there, but yeah. Fun fact. Saw the trailer at cinema, yeah, the wink, it was interesting. That and that moment when they are like facing each other and there was that like immediate tension, yeah, I think that's very different from Sense and Sensibility, especially the fact that it's literally Sense. You know, they're supposed to be very reserved and yet there's this kind of tension that's been put into it. I do worry a little bit that the creators have taken things from other Austen novels like Pride and Prejudice. Let me just turn the cat cam off because that is not an angle that I want to see. Let me just turn it back around again. I don't think he's going to end up coming back up onto his little mat now, but at least if we turn it around like that, and then if he does, this is his little blankie. If he does, then we've got the cat cam set up. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried that they're taking things from like Pride and Prejudice. Like there was a scene in the trailer where they looked to be at a ball, Eleanor and Edward, and they looked to be like, it was very 2005, Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden in a ballroom with nobody else. That's kind of what it reminded me of, and I was like, that's not the point. It's not Pride and Prejudice. It's Sense and Sensibility. So, Oh, okay, Jill, no worries. Oh gosh, starting work at 5. Yeah, definitely get to bed. Get an early night. Yeah, I'll definitely see you next week. We will be live streaming again next week. And just to say, actually, if anybody is watching, my full schedule for my live streams is up on my website, which is charlottefinessewriter.co.uk. I'll pop it into the chat, charlottefinessewriter.co.uk. And you can go onto the live stream tab on my website, and there will be, I think it's like a 12-week running schedule, so you'll always get the next kind of 12 weeks. I update it on a weekly basis. So you can see what I'll be doing over the next 12 weeks and which dates I will and won't be available. Because I think either the 1st and 2nd week of August or the 2nd and 3rd week of August, I think there's either 1 or 2 weeks I'm taking off then because we've got family coming to stay. So yeah, if you want to know kind of what I'm doing in my schedule of live streams, that's the best place to check it out. So yeah, I am interested to get a bit of yearning in Sense and Sensibility, but I hope it doesn't take away from the main kind of vibe and messaging of Sense and Sensibility. I don't mind Marianne and Willoughby doing some yearning, but there was no Marianne and Willoughby yearning in the trailer. It was very much Eleanor and Edward, which just feels like the wrong choice. I would have really loved to see more Marianne and Willoughby yearning, especially in the 2008, the version with Charity Wakefield and Hattie Monaghan. They, in that one, Marianne and Willoughby, they go to his aunt's house, and there's this scene where they're kind of like walking around the house, and she takes like a lacy wrap and wraps it around herself, and they're walking around the house, and it's very kind of you know, she's not really supposed to be in the company of a man on her own. You know, she should have an escort or have a companion with her at all times, and she doesn't, and so it's a little bit risky that they went there together on their own. But there's this, you know, these kind of beautiful moments where they're kind of wandering around the house together, and she's looking around and imagining and yearning for the life that they would have together, and that's where I think the yearning would be really good to come in. So we'll just have to see. We will have to see. I think let's do another. We'll have another chat for about another 4 minutes or so, and then at past we'll go into the final 20-minute session, and then we can have a 10-minute chat at the end. Have you heard there's going to be a Christmas special for the other Bennett sister? No, it is not fake news, Diana. It is confirmed. They are doing a Christmas special for the other Bennett sister, which is a weird choice. I'm like cautiously optimistic about it. On the one hand, I think it's really cool to get like a Christmas special, get some bonus content. On the other hand, I'm really, really worried that they will rush the scripting and rush the production and rush the filming because they're just wanting to kind of like cash in on the success of the other Bennett sister. I don't know what the story will be, or because is there a follow-up book? I don't think there's a follow-up book, is there? I think the Bennett sister is just the book. So it's like, what is it going to be? What's the storyline going to be? Is it just all of the family are together for Christmas and it's like a snapshot of all the different lives together? I don't know what the conflict would be, and I don't like the idea that like an overly dramatic conflict would be created just for the purpose of creating a Christmas special. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very excited, but I'm also a little bit like, you made something that was perfect, don't mess it up now, if you know what I mean. Maybe that's me being a bit too sceptical. What does everybody else think? Are you looking forward to it as well? We're also going to have the Pride and Prejudice trailer, proper full trailer, dropping at some point soon as well, because that's coming in the autumn. So I will be doing a Pride and Prejudice trailer reaction as well. I don't think I did. Did I do a trailer reaction for the teaser? I don't think I did. I think I just spoke about... Oh, no, yeah, I did. It was in 2nd of March, the timing of it, because I saw the teaser. I saw the teaser for Pride and Prejudice at the cinema before it came out to the general public, and I remember thinking that they'd maybe put the teaser out by accident, and they'd not done it, you know, they'd done it completely by accident, and maybe that's why, yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I've spotted it before everybody else, and then I realised it was actually part of their kind of tactic. It's something that they're doing now, and then they did it with Sense and Sensibility came out the cinema before the trailer dropped as well. So, yes. Oh, sorry, going to yawn. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I had a horrible flare-up with my back on Friday. So I was initially only supposed to do an hour live stream tonight. Tom was like, I think you should only do an hour, you shouldn't push yourself too hard, but I didn't want to let anybody down by only doing an hour. So we're doing our full 2 hours. But we flew back from Portugal on Friday at 3 o'clock, so the flight was at 3, and at about 10:30, 11:15, I was getting changed, and as I bent down, my back popped. The disc, I'm assuming it's the disc, something popped, it went in my back. I call it a flare-up because it's very hard to know what kind of language to use for something like this. It almost feels like something moves in my back, and if you've ever had a slip disc or ever had a problem, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's exceptionally painful in that moment, and it makes me kind of like jump, and I stood up instantly and I was like, oh no, because I know that when that happens, I can be laid up for days, but I had to go to the airport within like 2-3 hours of that happening. So I said to Tom, I said, my back's just gone. And he was like, no. I said, yeah. I said, and I think it's gone pretty badly. Because sometimes it can tweak and I'll be able to just take some painkillers and walk it off. But this was like a proper, my back has gone. And so it got more and more painful over the next couple of hours, to the point that I don't have a photo or anything like that. I should really take some photos the next time it happens. But when it initially happens, my back becomes almost twisted. And I end up, I look about 80 years old, I end up like bent over in a really weird, like my hips go out of alignment, and I ended up like that, and I said to Tom, and he said, well, maybe you should stay, and not come home. But when you have something like that, you just want to be in your own bed, in your own home, and I was like, I don't want to put off the inevitable, like, I'm going to have to get a plane home at some point, I just want to get home now. So I ended up getting the accessibility, the assistance through the airport, and I was in a wheelchair through Faro Airport, and then had to get a wheelchair off the plane in Manchester as well, and take a wheelchair through the airport, which was, obviously it's there for a reason, is the assistance, but when you have a a condition or an issue that is not visible, I always feel like are people going to think I'm being a fraud, or being lazy, that I just don't want to walk. But the people who dealt with the whole situation, did the assistance, were fantastic, especially because I had to book it within 2 hours of turning up at the airport. Like normally, you're supposed to book your assistance like 3 or 4 days in advance, but obviously this was an emergency, it had just happened at the last minute. So Faro Airport were fantastic. EasyJet that we flew with were brilliant, they got it all sorted in Manchester as well. So it was fine, but then I got home and basically spent the entire weekend in bed trying to rest. So I'm very tired because from a combination of not sleeping very well and being in pain and taking a lot of painkillers, I'm a bit wiped out. So again, I think I've been alright actually. I thought I would be a little bit more dozy and not really following good train of thoughts just because there's so much going on, but actually I feel like I've done alright actually. And you know, we're on 8:30 already. These live streams always go so fast. And I've really enjoyed it. You guys, honestly, it's such a lovely opportunity to get to chat and have a natter and get to know you all more, because I've said this before, YouTube feels sometimes like I'm just kind of talking into the void, and there's a comment section. I do try and reply to as many comments as I possibly can with people, but it's nice to be able to actually have a two-way conversation. It really is. So, yes. Shall we go into the final session? I know I've gone over a few minutes there just telling you about my backscapades. But let's go into the last session and then we can have a final kind of chat before we wrap up for the evening. Okie dokie. Right. Oh, that was a good final session actually. I hadn't noticed that the timer had finished. I think, don't know if I left that an extra 30 seconds or a minute. Sorry if it was just silent. I was just editing, well, not editing, semi-rewriting a scene in the book. I'm getting to the point, and I've said this previously in a couple of my other live streams, where I am kind of struggling to know what to write next. I'm struggling a bit with the plotting, and so I think I really need to spend some time actually writing out the plot points and what I want the next bit to be. And yeah, if I don't do that before next Tuesday's live stream, I think that's what I might do in the live stream. I actually force myself to do it, and you all need to hold me accountable, because I've said that I'm going to do this in the past, and then I'll get into the live stream, I'll look at the thing, and I'll end up editing or rewriting something that I've already written. That. Actually doing the plotting, bit of plotting work that I need to do. So how has everybody's little live stream sessions been? What have you been working on? I know that a few of you have been reading. Kelly, you've been reading. Jill, I don't know if you were reading as well. Oh no, Jill's gone, hasn't she? She had to go because she's been working. But yeah, what has everybody been up to? Have you enjoyed the first live stream back after a little break? I've enjoyed it. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And these 2 hours have just absolutely flown by. So thank you very much to everyone who has been commenting and to everyone who has been lurking in the background. I know that some people come and they put these live streams on and they don't comment or chat, but all support is hugely appreciated, and I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it's useful to you, and to anyone who's watching it on demand, thank you again. I know that some people can't always make the live streams, but I actually find them really useful to do focused work afterwards. So again, I hope that they are good for you. And if you're looking for more things like this, more kind of focused videos, then The Right Ambience is my other channel that I set up. I'm just putting the name of it into the chat. I set it up over the last couple of weeks so that I could put up something that was a bit like this while I was away on holiday. There are 2 videos on that channel at the moment. They're footage of me writing, and then those are the focus bits where I film myself kind of doing some work, and then there are kind of 5-minute breaks with some beautiful footage that I've filmed in different locations. One, I think the first video has got some footage from my house, and then the next one has got some footage that I took in Spain. There is one coming up from Italy, which will have some footage from Italy. So yeah, if you want to do something, watch some more of those whilst you're working this week, or studying or whatever, then please do feel free to check those out. I've missed it too in this lovely space you've created. Thank you, Kelly. You guys have created it as much as I have. You know, I've a live stream is kind of nothing without other people turning up to come and chat and make it such a lovely welcoming space. So thank you guys to everybody who comes along and chats and joins and watches the video afterwards. I really appreciate it. I really love being able to do something that's a bit more, like I say, a two-way conversation. So yes, I don't think I've got anything else to mention. Obviously, like I say, you can like the stream, that is a big help. And you can become a member, YouTube member, if you want to, for some bonus content. Hasn't been a lot on there recently, just because what with holidays and everything, it's been a bit mad, but I've got some plans for some extra footage. I am going to put up a little mini kind of like highlights vlog from my holiday. I took some footage of the different places that we went to. I didn't really do much like talking to camera. Again, I didn't particularly want to vlog while I was away because I wanted a break. But I'm going to do a little kind of like highlights reel and a bit of commentary over the top of where we went and what we saw and stuff. So that'll be on my members at some point in the next week or so. So yeah, I think we'll probably leave it there. Thank you very much everybody again, and I will be back next Tuesday, which will be what will the date be? The 7th? Yes, Tuesday the 7th of July. Can't believe we're in July already. Tuesday 7th of July, 7 till 9 p.m, British summertime, UK time. And I will see you then. Thank you so much again for joining, for coming along, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye everybody.